Okay. Good morning, everyone. I would like to request you all to turn on your cameras para magkakitaan tayo, no? Para makita ko rin kayo. Hello, good morning. Happy Mondays. Okay, so now is week 4. Week 4 na tayo ngayon, no? If I'm not mistaken. So, for this time, we're going to focus our discussion in test and testing. It will cover assumptions of testing, no? So let's begin our discussion. Then later we're going to focus our discussion in ethics, ethics. So welcome. Now I would like you to answer this. Can you differentiate straight and state? How about construct? Pero dun muna tayo sa basic, no? Trait and state. Ito yung pagkakaiba nilang dalawa. What is a trait and how does it differentiate from a state? You can use your microphone or you could actually chat in the chat box. I will appreciate your participation if ever. Ayan. So, nag-coffee na ba ang lahat? Yes, Miara. Yes. Yes, nak. Miara. Ano yan?
Traits po, sir, are more of like long-term, while state is the current or temporary na condition po, sir.
Okay. Very good, Mihara. So, trait is more of the long term or this is the yung enduring pattern of behavior, 'di ba, sa personality. And yung state is more of temporary, no? Kumbaga yun yung state na meron ka as of the moment which could change eventually. Okay, so that's the basic difference. So in personality assessment, we are trying to measure, we can measure, no, the trait, personality trait, and the state. Like the example will be the depression, anxiety, stress scale. So yun yung mga, yung mini-measure nun is yung current depressive stress and yung anxiety symptoms na meron pa. So, ang mga iba't ibang mga scales, mga tests, iba-iba rin yung mini-measure nila. Sige, so let's begin our discussion in assumption number 1. So, trait is any distinguishable, relatively enduring way in which one individual varies from that of the another, while states is a distinguishing feature but relatively less enduring. So, yung keyword, di ba? Like what I've mentioned, enduring patterns of behavior. Si trait, si state naman is relatively less enduring. So it can vary. No? Pero of course, state has a period of time. So yun yung kanyang ano rin, state. So nasa depressive state ka, nasa stress state ka, nasa anxious state ka. So that is assumption number 1. Traits and states exist. May question? Okay, so attendance is being checked right now, no? So you know my ruling. So up until 10:55 a.m. All right, let's go to assumption. Hindi pa pala tayo tapos. Sige, Miara, na, can you read this one? The definitions? Miara?
Assumption 1. Psychological traits and states exist. A psychological trait exists only as a construct, an informed scientific concept developed or constructed to describe or explain behavior. We can't see, hear, or touch constructs, but we can infer their existence from overt behavior. Overt behavior refers to an observable action or the product of an observable action, including test or assessment related responses.
Okay. So, overt behavior. So, construct is defined here as an informed scientific concept developed or constructed to describe or explain behavior. So, in module 2, my final assessment for that is you're going to create a test and you have to validate it through an expert. So, hahanap kayo ng expert to validate the test that you're going to measure. So with that, you have to be clear of the construct that you're going to use. So later may mga terms tayo ng construct validity. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng construct validity? So that is a construct. So basically, it's a concept, no? to describe or explain behavior. Let's say construct of diligence, construct of hard work, of being let's say shy, no? Construct of tenacity, or kung ano man yung gusto niyo explain na behavior. So overt behavior, ito yung observable action or the product of observable action. So it could include test or assessment-related responses, basically. So minsan nakikita natin yung overt behavior, covert naman yung hindi halata, hindi nakikita sa mata. Okay? So, overt behavior, pwedeng theory, si client, no? Very cooperative, very talkative, expressive, ganyan. Shy, reserved. Okay. Assumption number 2. Let's read this. Chenny Batukan. Can you read?
Assumption 2. Psychological traits and states can be quantified and measured. Ideally, the test developer has provided test users with a clear operational definition of the construct under study. Having defined the trait, state, or other construct to be measured, a test developer considers the types of item content that would provide insight to it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So in every personality test, of course, there is a test developer behind that one. Like let's say sa BPI, Basic Personality Inventory, meron ding MMPI, Minnesota Multiphasic Personality Inventory. We also have NeoPi, we also have varieties of tests. So it can be quantified and measured. If you're familiar, if nakatik na kayo ng mga test, yung mga strongly agree, disagree, Likert scale, Likert scaling yung ginagamit dyan. Wait lang ha. Wait lang. Okay, Likert scale minsan yung ginagamit natin. It can be quantified and measured through personality tests. So in Module 2, you're going to create your own personality test or a psychological test in any construct that you want to define and measure. So, sa quantitative research, gumagamit tayo ng mga tools, survey, self-report, scales, or questionnaires, or checklist. That's how we can quantify and measure it, no? So, ganyan. You have questions? So, we could quantify it. We can know, average level lang ba yung ganitong construct, personality? Low level ba si conscientiousness? High level ba si agreeableness, no? So, example yun is sa NeoPi or NeoFFI. So, yun, no? So, do you have questions for this? Very clear naman. Okay, we have cumulative scoring. The more the test taker responds correctly or consistently with a particular trait, the higher the test taker is presumed to be on the targeted ability or trait. So, let's say puro ganito yung kanyang response, no? 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. So, strongly agree lahat. So, more likely, nag-add on yon and magiging high or very high yung score niya. Domain sampling is a sample of behavior from all possible behaviors that could conceivably be indicative of a particular construct. So let's say in domain sampling, a sample of test items from all possible items that could conceivably be used to measure a particular construct. So, in domain sampling, gumagawa tayo ng mga test items, tapos pinapa-validate natin. We could revise, we could reject, we could accept or retain the item. So, maraming items usually yan. No? Kayo bahala. How many items would it be? So, a 50-item test, and it will measure certain constructs and domains. No? Another word for construct pala is domain. Domain. Okay? That's another term for construct. Domain. No? Yun yung parang ano niya. Let's say, neuroticism. Yun yung pinaka ano nyo. No? And under that, there is anxiety, emotional instability. We could also have a domain of what else? Emotional reactivity and sensitivity. So maraming pwedeng domains under yung construct na gano'n, no? So yung pinaka taas niya. So ang mga terms minsan yan sub-factors. Let's say sa NeoPi, 'di ba, kay McCray and Costa, there's also a lot of yung pinaka domain niya, yung let's say neuroticism, and under that there are sub-factors, okay, that could define that major construct. Now let's go to assumption number 3. Okay, sige. Let's have okay, Kobe, please read assumption number 3. This one, basahin natin. Okay, wala, no? Let's have
Assumption number 3.
go, sige, please.
Assumption number 3. Test-related behavior predicts non-test-related behavior. A test taker's performance of psychological tests, test-related behavior can be used to infer how they will behave in real life. Non-test-related behavior. Tests are designed to extend beyond the testing environment.
Okay, so test-related behavior can predict non-test-related behavior. What does it mean? Anong ibig sabihin yan? Kayo naman, gusto ko malaman din yung understanding nyo dito. So, pwedeng, ano ba yung importance talaga ng test? Bakit pa meron tayong mga personality psychological test? Ang mamahal ng mga test na yan, no? Bakit ba may psychological test? Ano ba yung purpose niya? Sige daw, who can answer the question? Ano ibig sabihin nito din? Test-related behavior predicts non-test-related behavior. Ano ibig sabihin niyan? Class, walang maling sagot, no? We're all learning here. Hindi ko kayo i-judge kung hindi rin naman sakto masyado yung answer ninyo. Gusto ko lang din malaman yung understanding ninyo sa ganitong mga lesson. No? Sige, okay, may nag-raise. Yes, Aliyah, Rafaela. Yes, Nak. Sige, please.
Ay, in external validity po, sir.
Okay, ano yung external validity?
Like, applicable siya in real life, sir. Like, ang concept ng personality test kay applicable siya in real life as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in a sense na ma-predict na din na ang personality mo sa test is yan talaga ang personality mo in real life. Like, in real life settings.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, okay. I got the point. So, minsan, yung mga hindi nakikita natin on the actual testing environment habang nagbibigay tayo ng test, it can predict non-test related behavior kasi pwedeng niyang makita yung mga bagay na hindi nakikita on the actual assessment. That's why it could help predict non-test related behavior on how they will behave in real life pag wala na sila sa testing environment. That's why it's important for us to know these things. Maraming purpose ang testing, class, no? Important siya in court cases, no? In the forensic concept, in the forensic context, no? In annulment cases and nullity of marriages, in vowsy cases, marami tayong pwedeng makita that could help the society because they trust us, our legal expertise in this matter. Kaya nating bigyan ng objective understanding, scientific way, professional, standardized, method of collecting and yun. So mahalaga, basically, nagbibigay tayo ng objective way of measuring things, personality, no, ng isang tao. You got the point? Tama yung point na external validity. Good job on that. Now, let's go to the assumption number 4. Lian, pakibasa nakde, please. Assumption 4.
Hello, sir. Marinig po ako. So, assumption 4, tests and other measurement techniques have strengths and weaknesses. Competent test user understand and appreciate the limitations of the tests they use as well as how those limitations may be compensated for by the data from other sources.
Okay. Competent test users understand and they do appreciate the limitations. We do know kung ano yung appropriate test to use. Ano yung pinaka-appropriate test to use. Kasi minsan ang common habit talaga is pipilitin natin yung isang test kasi yun lang yung pinaka-available sa atin, no? So that's why mahalaga na malaman natin yung mga limitations, strengths niya, and ano talaga yung gamit niyan, no? And para sa ang age norms, no, yung edad, ganyan. So may mga certain meron naman talagang manual para mas maintindihan natin kung ano yung mini-measure talaga niyan and kung ano yung age group or norm na angkop for that test, no? Mahal ng mga test class. It's really an investment, no? Mahal ang bumili ng mga test, especially kung galing talaga, kung brand new. It could range from 25,000 to 180,000 isang test lang, no? Then you have to buy answer sheets and all. So, it's an investment. If you want to create a clinic of your own, you have to have this test, no? And hindi naman basta-basta pinopotocopy na lang yung mga test na to. Very tight ang test security because of the license of it, no? Okay. So dapat alam natin kung saan dapat ginagamit yung mga test and para saan sila. Well, eventually in the course, you will be learning the different basic test na ginagamit, psychological test. Now let's go to assumption number 5. Okay. Angela, paki-read be, assumption 5. Yung error tsaka error variance. Sige.
Assumption 5. Various sources of error are part of the assessment process. Error. A long-standing assumption that factors other than what a test attempts to measure will influence performance on the test. Error variance. The component of a test score attributable to sources other than the trait or ability measured. Example given extraneous variables.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So, extraneous variables, we have error. So, like what I've mentioned, all test has an error. There's an error variance, but the goal here is to decrease that error. It's really an assumption. Lahat ng mga test talaga, it has a certain error. It's a component of the test score. Kahit anong gawin natin, hindi talaga natin makuha yung actual score. Kaya may certain formula, true score plus error variance equals your score. Yun ba? Error variance. I think it's the classical test theory formula is the real score. Sorry, no? I will uulitin ko. The real score plus error variance equals the true score. So, kahit anong gawin natin, hindi talaga mawawala yung error. So, ano yung mga sources ng errors? Ano yung extraneous variables? Can you give me one? If you're reading the book, you can answer my questions, to be honest. It's really on the Cohen and verdict talaga. Sige, yes, Miara, go.
Example po na mag-give ko, sir, is sa extraneous na variables kay, for example, kay hindi available ang testing area, parang ganun po. It's out of the hands na po sa researchers, ganun po.
Or online, the setting, no? Sige, what else? What else? What can be another potential source of error? Natatawag ako dito. Walang sasagot, no? What can be a potential source of error sa score? Bakit umiiba yung score talaga? May certain error siya. Sige daw. Yung mga na-mention ko last time. Sige. JV. Ano kaya mga potential source of error? So, checking also the attendance, no? Chloe, we have here the attendees. We just have 13 attendees. Okay. Akala niyo hindi ko chine-check yung mga attendance niyo, ha?
So,
Yes.
Mga variables po sa labas, sir, na maka-influence po sa outcome, yung mga unwanted po na mga variables.
Like what? Yun nga. Kagaya ng
Let's say, for example po, so hindi po tama yung pag-use po, sir, and then the given po info about the users of the test po kay invalid po ang kanilang reliability, sir. So it will po the test itself.
Okay, the test itself, okay, hindi ganun ka-appropriate yung nagamit. Pwede, no? Source of error. But yung pinaka-potential source of error, yung extraneous variables, yung labas na, no, ng actual test talaga na ginagawa. Example will be, gutom si client, wala siyang tulog, moody si client, no? Pwede rin na maingay yung testing area, may mga noises, no? Pwede rin na virtual setting and hindi na ma-control yung standardization of the assessment process is hindi na ganun ka na follow, no? and may mga certain, let's say, cheating, may mga nangyayaring coaching, ganyan, and etc. etc. So, kapag may mga ganong variables, syempre, tumataas si error variance. Gets nyo? Okay? That is the classical test theory. Okay, can you read this one? Sige daw. Angela, please, basahin mo nakba ito. The assumption is made.
The assumption is made that each test taker has a true score on a test that would be obtained but for the action of measurement error.
Okay. It's a basic assumption that there is a true score, yeah, that could be obtained, but of course, there is always a measurement error. Hindi siya nawawala kahit anong gawin natin, no? Okay, now let's go to assumption number 6. This one. Sige, I will call this one anak, no? Bus test dual, no? Basahin mo na. Assumption number 6.
Assumption 6. Testing and assessment can be conducted in a fair and unbiased manner. Despite the best efforts of many professionals, fairness-related questions and problems do occasionally arise. One source of fairness-related problems is the test user, who attempts to use a particular test with people whose background and experience are different from the background and experience of people for whom the test was intended.
Yeah. Despite our efforts, no, to maintain a fair, to maintain a standardized environment for testing, but still, no, even though error is there, we could still make it more fair and unbiased manner through our practice, our ethical practice. So one source of fairness related problems is test users who attempts to use a particular test with people whose background and experience are different from the background and experience of people for whom the test was intended. So a best example of it is question. If you're going to give us Wechsler in adult intelligence scale for someone that has no formal education or lacks formal education, example, high school lang yung natapos, no? Syempre, is it ethical? Yes or no? Would you give that type of test for someone who lacks test familiarity due to formal education? Walang formal education. Tingin nyo ba na tama or karapat dapat siya? And bakit? Kung hindi, bakit? Anong pwede natin gawin na alternative kung ganon yung case? May client kang hindi makapag-understand ng English na maayos. Kailangan gini mo Bisaya own kaayo every item. Is it his fault? Her fault? Dapat ba ma-exempt na siya for testing? Sige daw, sagutin niyo daw yung question. How could we as a psych professional, paano nyo siya ina-navigate pag ganun yung case? May nag-raise. Yes, na Akmiara.
I believe po, sir, that the test should be appropriate sa ano ang capabilities ng target na na test user. Now, for example po, if the test user cannot comprehend English, then the test should also be available in Tagalog or Bisaya, just to make sure po na um, na the test is understood po talaga, parang ganun.
Okay.
Kasi if hindi po there are possibilities that the answers would be wrong po or misunderstood ang question kaya mali po ang ma-answer, and that would also lead to misconceptions po sa interpretation sa results.
But that is the challenge, no? It's not available all the time, yung Bisaya or yung Tagalog, no? Mga test natin kasi, well, meron namang panukat ng ugali ng isang Pilipino, the PUP na test, but hindi siya ginagamit talaga, hindi siya widely used. So, pag ganun yung case natin, ano yung pwede natin gawin? Ano yung alternative na pwede natin gawin para pa rin ma-measure yung IQ? Example, how we're measuring the IQ. The available test you have is a verbal test, the SB5, Stanford Binet, and you have Wechsler, mga WACE. Those are verbal tests. Pag ganito yung case, syempre, if that client has no formal education and you think that he will really have a poor score kung pipilitin mo si verbal na mga tests like those, you have to use another test, and that is the nonverbal test. We have the CFIT, Culture Fair Intelligence Test. You also have the Ravens, or yung mga Ravens Standard Progressive Matrices. You have SPM, you have CPM, Colored Progressive, no, for children. So the use of nonverbal test is highly encouraged because wala masyadong culture variable. 'Di ba yung pictures? Naka-try kayo magtingin. Ravens, yung mga picture siya, no? Tapos you're going to choose a response. It's a non-verbal test that measures abstract reasoning, non-verbal intelligence, no? Logical reasoning. You're just going to look for patterns, what comes next. Ganun. So, that is a strong na ginagamit talaga. Yun yung mostly ginagamit din talaga like sa case namin, no? We're encouraged to use those tests given na hindi naman talaga lahat kayang makapag-adapt dun ng mga dun sa mga individual na mga IQ test. Hindi naman lahat nakapag-aral talaga. We have to learn, we have to adapt also and defend that our client is still worthy. Do you understand that? Sana meron kayong mga nakukuha, no, ng mga points. So the non-verbal test is encouraged really to be used. While yung mga individual IQ test naman is ginagamit talaga din siya for special purposes like let's say training, promotion, yung ginagamit siya, no, and to know your IQ, yeah, in different cases. So I hope you understand. Do you have questions so far? Let's have assumption 7. Mia, please read this one. Testing 7, test assumption 7.
Testing and assessment allow certification and licensure to practice various profession, medicine, engineering, etc. If it allows basis for hiring and promotion, child placement, and accelerated or special education curriculum, and detection and or diagnosis of psychological conditions amongst many others.
Yeah, thank you for reading. So it allows certification and licensure to practice. So there is a certain license that is required for you to use psychological test, and that is of course the RPM, or to become a registered psychometrician, which will later be changed daw to registered psychology associate para daw mas ma-capture pa niya yung mga functions, hindi lang sa testing, no? Oo. So, sana kayong lahat mag-take kayo ng licensure exam for psychometrician, no? Para meron din kayong credential. So, after that, magkakaroon na kayo ng insight. That's how I started. Hindi ko alam ano yung gagawin ko after I finished my psychology degree. So, nag-take ako ng boards, then feeling ko, nakapasa naman ako. So, yung feeling ko parang para sa akin yung psychology. So, that's why nag-masteral ako and I do pursue another licensure and have my trainings done and all. So, even right now, I'm still having my trainings and, I have classes then every weekends and also continuous pa rin yung natin, yung learning natin, no? Hindi siya nagsastop. Okay, so this one, it can benefit professionals. This could benefit the society as a whole because in the clinical practice, we're using tests to understand individuals. We are using objective tests, no, not just interview. One method we use is psychological testing. Yet it's just a part of the pie, no, in creating a psychological picture of the person. In psychological testing, we could measure various domains: cognitive or the IQ, personality, intelligence, attitudes, no, interest scales also, and unconscious motives, unconscious thoughts. Ano yung test na yun? That measures the unconscious motives or thoughts of the person. Anong tawag dun sa test na yun? That is a projective test. Okay? So, Wait lang ha. Just give me a minute. I will be back. Drink muna kayong water dyan, no? I need to go to the comfort room muna. Kasi break muna tayo lang. Mga 2 minutes lang. Okay, so let's get back, no? Turn on your cameras, everyone. So, balik tayo sa class. A little break lang. Baka na-overwhelm na kayo. So, basahin niyo yung libro lagi, promise. Masabtan gid ninyo, promise. Pag himay-himayon ninyo yung book yun. Mag-make sense kung ginabang ingon. So, testing is beneficial to our society, period. This could help in hiring, promotion. The HR use also some psych tests. When I enter Mapua, they gave me some tests also, mga psychological tests, no, sa guidance, office, child placement in clinics, if there is intellectual disability or global developmental delay, if special or gifted ang mga bata or child. So, there's a lot of tests that could help identify autism, symptoms of ADHD. There are checklists, a lot of tests that could help identify and give an understanding of human behavior, period. Okay? So I hope you understand that one. Now, let's proceed to what constitutes a good psychological test. What do you think? What constitutes a good psychological test? Yan. Gandang question yan. Yan. Okay. So, we have the words or the terms reliability and validity. In M2, mas magiging focus na tayo dito sa mga constructs na yan. No? Reliability is consistency of the measuring tool. So, ibig sabihin, paulit-ulit. Consistent, no? The psychological tests are reliable to varying degrees. So this is in chapter 5. Validity is in chapter 6. Magkasunod silang dalawa. No? If it does not measure what it claims to measure, then the test is useless. And validity, it relate, no? Kumbaga, the test measures what it purports to measure. Yun yung talagang definition ng validity. Mini-measure talaga ng test kung ano talaga yung dapat niyang i-measure. So, what should come first? Validity or reliability? Sige daw. Kung nagbasa kayo. Ano yung dapat mauna sa dalawa? Validity or reliability? Or pwede ba silang sabay? Or dapat sabay silang dalawa for it to become a good test? What do you think? What comes first? So, what comes first? It's what? So, validity. A test should be valid first before it can be reliable. So, dapat nating mag-gets na. A test cannot be reliable kung hindi siya valid. Walang silbi, no? Napaulit-ulit siya. Dapat muna natin ma-establish na valid si test. Then later on, reliability. Paulit-ulit na niyang mini-measure. Consistent, no? So, yan ha. Do you understand this one? Am I still speaking English to you? Are you learning so far? I hope so. So again, a test should be valid first before it can become reliable. Now let's go to norms. Norms. Okay, let's read the norms. Na-check ko na attendance nyo. No? Chloe, please read the norms, please, dear. This two lang.
Norms provide a standard with which the results of measurement can be compared. Behavior that is usual, average, normal, standard, expected, or typical.
Okay, so norms. It's a standard in which the results of measurement can be compared to each other. That's why with the presence of the norms, we can compare it in the normal distribution. Kasi malalaman natin, ano ba yung average talaga na scores ng mga ng normal population na ganito. So, ito talaga yung norms nila. So, basically, dito mostly ang average person na nagsascore. So, kapag merong deviation, no, mostly pwede nating masabi na ay, okay, medyo low. So, medyo high din. No? Same also with the IQ. We could know sino yung mga divergent no, na mga individuals. So, it's a standard wherein doon tayo nagbe-based. And may certain norms yan, no? May age norms, may grade norms, no? May percentiles at least. Kaya natin pa rin i-measure yung sa edad talaga niya. Sa edad, sa grade level niya, no? Kasi hindi natin pwedeng iparehas lahat ba? Gets nyo? So, norm reference testing and assessment is a method of evaluation on a way of deriving meaning from test scores. By evaluating an individual test taker scores and comparing it to the scores of a group of test takers. So in norm reference, what we're doing here is basically ang norm reference. Let's say, meron kasing criterion and norm reference. If you have read the book, you could come across the word criterion and norm reference. Dito, ang basihan natin ng high and low kung sino nakakuha ng pinakamataas na score sa inyo. So through that, ang board exam is, ang chismis sa board exams is norm reference siya. Kung sino yung pinakamataas na nakakuha ng board's exam score, yun magiging basis ng passing rate or cut scores. Yun yung understanding ko of norm reference. This is based from the test scores of the test takers, comparing it to other test takers. So sa board exam, who got the highest test score, yun yung magiging basis. Ay, ito yung cut score. All right, ito yung pinakamataas. Then we're going to, give kung ano yung magiging pass and fail, no? Gets nyo? So, nakabase siya dun sa pinakamataas sa test taker. So, hindi siya objective na criterion. Ito talaga definite objective siya. Subjective ang scoring. Okay? Do you understand? Kasi may comparison to other groups of test takers. Okay? I guess, yun yung chismis sa board exam. Norm reference daw. Ang mga board exam. Ang mga bar exams. Now, let's go to norms. Normative sample, it's a group of people whose performance on a particular test is analyzed for reference in evaluating the performance of individual test takers. Oh, by the way, do you have class after this or wala? Wala na klase? Yes or no lang? Hello? May class ba kayo after 12? Yes po. Lahat ba may klase? Okay, sige. Alright. I'll adjust. Okay. Norming. So this refers to the process of deriving norms. Example, race norms, user norms, and program norms. So again, it's a way on how we could create a reference to evaluate performance of the test takers. So example, the sample of behavior. Ito yung scores ninyo, no? And we could look that ito yung sample na mga nakakuha ng score na ganito. Okay? We could look on the race, we could look on grades, we could look on the age, no? Okay. Types of norms. We have age norms, grade norms, national norms, local norms, percentile norms. Ayan. Okay. Punta tayo dito. Okay. This one. The National Career Examination indicate percentile ranks in the test takers' academic areas or scores. So with this, we could define a percentile. So a percentile is an expression of the percentage of people whose score on a test measure falls below a particular raw score. So it's a distribution, 100 equal parts is equal to 100 percentiles, always 100 percentiles siya. No? We could rank because of the percentiles that are indicated in a score. So, in reporting it in a psych report, usually may mga percentiles siya. Doon natin malalaman, no? Yung ranking ng certain score na meron ka. With that ranking, you can know the relative position within the distribution to a particular norm. Okay? Ano yung position ng score mo? So, always 100 siya. Percentiles. Okay. Now, let's look more into national norms. Yan. Let's say the Philippines, no, representative of the population at the time of the norming study was conducted. And of course, in using certain tests, there's an issue. Kasi, na-develop yung test na yon gamit hindi yung Filipino population, but the Western population. So, malaking talaga, no? Malaking masasabi ko talagang meron talaga siyang disadvantage kasi hindi ginamit yung population na meron tayo. Kaya nag-start na magkaroon ng mga development of local norms. Let's say the UPCAT. We also have yung panukat ng ugali ng mga Pilipino. So, ito naman, base talaga to sa local population na performance, no, ng isang Pilipino. Okay? Yan. Punta tayo sa criterion reference. So, mahalaga din na meron tayong mga development of test, no? Kaya sa module 2, you're going to develop your own test, no? Para ipapavalidate niyo yun, no? And mag-undergo siya ng certain process. Okay. Let's go to criterion reference. Now, let's read the criterion references. Sige, let's have here Alea, no? Bolseco, please read mo yung yung dalawa na nandito. Criterion is a standard.
Criterion. The standard on which a judgment or decision may be based. Evaluate score on the basis of whether or not some criterion has been met.
Okay. All right. So, kanina norm reference, ngayon naman we have criterion reference, no? Kumbaga, ang criterion reference is defined as the method of evaluation, a way of deriving meaning from test scores by evaluating an individual score with a reference to a set of standard. So, may mga constructs. So, merong term na criterion validity. Kumbaga, criterion, hindi siya based sa individual test scores, but base siya dun sa mismong test talaga. No? Criterion reference test score. So, an example of it is, let's say, may mga criterion or may mga domain yung isang abstract of measure. Let's say you're measuring a conscientiousness scale. Di ba, under that, it can be hardworking, diligence, no? It can be orderliness, no? Yun yung mga under dyan eh. Orderliness, dutifulness, no? And all. So, those are the criterion. Mostly, we use this in objective individual IQ cognitive test and personality test. Ginagamit si criterion reference testing and assessment. Si normative naman, ang tingin ko, mas ginagamit siya sa mga quizzes, sa mga board exams, licensure examinations. This is very objective kasi mas tinitingnan natin yung mga criteria ng mga tests. Ano ba yung mga certain criterias ng SB5? 'Di ba, we have verbal intelligence, we have non-verbal intelligence, we have domains under that. So mini-measure tallying the number of items what is corrected, and yun ang magiging score niya. So walang comparison to other test takers. You got the point, no? Again, tallying, no? Ang score mo, yun na talaga siya. Hindi mo na siya i-compare sa ibang test takers. Okay? Also known as domain or content reference testing. Okay? So, yun yung difference silang dalawa. Okay? Sana naintindihan nyo yun, ha? Okay? Yan. Okay. Okay. Sa tingin nyo, class, why are norms important in psychological testing and assessment? Yung na-present ko sa inyo kanina, especially on the development of tests, no? And in the interpretation eventually. Sa tingin nyo, bakit important yung norming process? Ten lang nag-attend, no? Sige daw. Try lang. Wala laging maling sagot. I will not judge you. Good. No? Try lang good answer. Answer lang good mo. Sa inyo, ang idea lang ba sa inyong pagka-understand sa norming, no? Hailey, sige daw. Miss Cordua, try daw nakbe. Sige.
I believe po it is important because it gives meaning and also it allows comparison and helps in decision making po.
Okay. Yeah. Comparison. And it can derive meaning, especially on the interpretation. Without the norms, ano basihan natin? Hindi natin alam. We cannot justify na isa lang yung interpretation ng lahat ng edad. No? Especially sa mga IQ test. Na-judge ay certain age norm that we have to consider. Na ingani ang interpretation for ages 7 years old, ages 8 years old, 9 years old, 25, 65 years old. There's a certain norm we have to follow for better interpretation, more objective interpretation, and at the same time, we could understand better also, making it more fair. Ba? Sige, so again, this is the book, the Bible, the standard, the gold standard in psych assessment. Actually, in college, I did not learn so much of psych assessment. Pero yung nag-aral na ako, yung binasa ko talaga yung libro, nag-review ako, doon ko talaga mas na gets ang psych assessment. It's a self-study talaga. You cannot learn it through one lecture, one sitting. Okay, sige. Okay.